All right, folks. Even though I don't think anybody's on yet, except me, yeah, we're just gonna move right along because I don't want to waste time, and that's hot. So today I'm making it's an IPA, West Coast IPA. It's going to be similar to the Lagunitas. Lagunitas IPA is one of my favorite. I like them very much. This one's going to be pretty hoppy. IPA range for IBUs is 70, and we're at 69. So I'll go over real quick. We are going to mash this at 158. I got it set to 160 right now. So I'm going to put it down to 158. And we're going to mash in a couple seconds here. But the grist is going to be, and I'm doing a 2.5 gallon batch. Actually, I do a 2.7 gallon batch, and then it comes out to about 2.5. But anyways, this is going to be 5 pounds, 2.5 ounces of two row, 10.6 ounces of caramel malt, which is a 10L, 6.7 ounces of a light Munich. We got 6.7 ounces of wheat malt, and then we're going to put 4.4 ounces of caramel crystal malt, which is a 50/60. We're using Magnum hops, which I'm going to be adding at the 60-minute, half ounce. They're 15.5 alpha acid. Another half ounce of Willamette at 30 minutes. Those are 4.9%. At 30 minutes also, I'm going to add 0.7 ounces of Centennial. Those are 18.5. Those are cryo hops, so I had to cut that down because the alpha acid's so high. But those are 18.5%. And then at flame out, I'm going to add a half ounce Cascade, which are 11%. And then with about 3 or so days left in fermentation, we are going to dry hop with 3/4 of an ounce of Cascade and a 1/4 ounce of Centennial. So I have already added my salts in. Water's up to temperature. I've milled my, there it is. I milled my grist. My grain's all milled up. So we're going to add that in. Got my whisk. I got my basket. Mm. So with the claw hammer um, kettle here, I always double mash, and that's sort of what Emmett and Kyle recommend at claw hammer. And that's what I do. And my efficiencies are usually around 70, 72%. I know it probably should be higher, but that's what I get. And I'm very consistent with those efficiencies. So, I'm also doing this 2.5 gallon batch because I have not been going through beer very quickly lately. Um, I don't know if it's just because it's winter and I'm not sitting outside next to the pool all summer long and drinking a couple beers. So I'm gonna have to knock it down to keep doing 2.5 gallon batches um, for now, unless I'm really gonna do something I want to send into competitions, and then I'll make maybe a 5 gallon batch on those, just so I got enough around to send out. So this is pretty much mixed up. I don't see any dough balls. Temperature's good. I got to walk around to the front. There we go. So we're going to start recirculation. And hey Siri, set a timer for 60 minutes.
60 minutes starting now.
So we will have our 60-minute mash. I'll keep checking the gravity. I would like this to go a little quicker. I probably should have actually designed this for a 30-minute mash, 30-minute boil, but I didn't. So, but if we get to our numbers before the 60 minutes, I'll cut it off and we'll start the boil. And try and make this day go by a little quicker. Also, my pH should come out to 5.5, based on what Brewfather says. So I shouldn't have to add any lactic acid, but we'll check that in 10 minutes. Actually, hey Siri. Hey Siri, set a timer for 9 minutes.
Starting now.
So we will check that, as I said. I went through the recipe real quick. I guess we'll do it again because, you know, that one person that's on needs to hear it again because he wasn't here before, or she. But anyways, 5 pounds, 2.5 ounces of two-row, 10.6 ounces of caramel malt 10L, 6.7 ounces of Munich Light, 6.7 ounces of wheat malt, and 4.4 ounces of caramel crystal malt, which is a 50-60 Bullabond. We're using Magnum hops at the 60-minute. We're using Willamette hops at 30 minutes, and also Centennial hops at 30 minutes, and Cascade hops at flame out. And then we're doing Cascade and Centennial for dry hopping. I already added my salts, as I said earlier. The water profile is calcium is 42 parts per million, magnesium is 10 parts per million, sodium is going to be 2 parts per million, chloride is 33 parts per million, sulfate is 99, and bicarbonate is 4. So my sulfate to chloride ratio is 3-to-1. I used Brewfather's, where is it? Water profile. I think it's their HOPPY water profile. I didn't make up my own water profile on this one. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I will go with whatever Brewfather has on their program that fits what I want to do. So this one I just did a HOPPY water profile, and this is distilled water. So I did start out with distilled water as my source water. Any comments? There, I made one. There. All right. Doesn't tell me who's on unless you say something. But anyways, and also using USO5 for yeast on this batch, which is typical for West Coast. Nice clean yeast. Also, sorry. Also, just before I went on live here, I forgot to correct the alpha acids in Brewfather. I just went with the default alpha acid when I was designing the recipe. So I had to go back in real quick because I was using some cryo hops, and those obviously the alpha acid is a little higher on the cryo hops, and usually it's like double the alpha acid percent for cryo compared to just the regular. So I had to go in and really quickly change all my alpha acids, and I had to change the amounts because I think this was going to come out at 62 IBUs. That's where it was originally. And when I made corrections and with the alpha acids, it's going to come out at 69. 70 is what they recommend, BJCP guidelines for IPAs. Obviously, that's not the gospel because there's a bunch of IPAs out there that are well over 100 IBUs. It's going to be 10 SRM. We should have our original gravity at 10.059, or excuse me, 10.59, and our final gravity should be around 10.15. I hope it's actually a little high according to BJCP. I think 1012 is where it's supposed to be, but we'll see. I'm not too concerned about my finished gravity. We got 3 minutes left. We're going to check the pH real quick. Nobody's saying anything in chat. You say something, chat. What the hell? I know I've noticed lately that a lot of homebrew YouTube channels have been doing live, like Clawhammer. Clawhammer's doing a live brew day every week. I guess that's what their plan is for this year. I did see that Cityscape has done a couple. I don't know if that's new for him. I think he's been doing them all along. And there was another one, and now I can't think of who it was, but I saw that they were doing live brew days. So one reason is to boost my watch time. I'm getting real close to the monetization numbers for YouTube. Subscriber wise, I'm at around 700. You got to be at 1,000, and you got to have 4,000 hours of watch time. I don't got nearly 4,000 hours of watch time, and the only way I can think of trying to do that quickly is to do some live streams, because the video is going on for a couple hours and people will jump in. And if you do what I do, I'll throw on a live stream, especially like Clawhammer, and then just do stuff around the house and while it's playing. So may not be watching it, but it's on. And then they usually got, Kyle, Emmett, and Lily doing something, and they can talk back and forth. And I'm just all by myself. So I got to talk to you guys, and I get no feedback. Did I get any feedback? I ain't got no feedback. We're almost ready to check pH. like we're holding pretty steady. There's gonna be a beer that's gonna have some residual sugar because we are mashing at a high temperature here. Now, close enough. 30 seconds. I'm not gonna let that ding and be annoying. Stick this in the freezer so I can get the temperature down a little bit better. Hey Siri, set a timer for 5 minutes. So I'll give that 5 minutes in the freezer. Hopefully it'll drop the temperature down a little bit closer to 60. And then we'll look at the pH. I am assuming it's going to be fine. Stop listening to me, Siri. Oh, come on, chat. Ask me some questions. I don't want to make this a one-way conversation. We are getting close to my the porter that I made, which I did half the batch on oak chips that I had soaked in rum. So, and that was my, what the hell was it called? Pineapple. I gotta look it up. Pineapple vanilla, I think. Pineapple coconut. That's it. So the pineapple coconut porter, half of it, so around 2.5 gallons, has been sitting for when the heck did I make this? Does not say. Oh, 82 days ago. Yeah, it says right there. So it has been aging for 82 days. And I was going to wait till March, but there is a local beer competition coming up in Niagara Falls. And those have to be in, I think, by February 10th or something like that. I just signed up for it yesterday. I haven't entered my beers that I'm going to submit because I don't know which ones I was going to throw in. But that one, as long as it came out good. That one I'm going to send. And I also have my Scotch Ale. I have gotten some pretty good compliments on the last batch of Scotch Ale I made, so I think I'll send that one in. This will probably not be done in time. I don't think I'm going to send this. I do have a pale ale that actually has been getting a little bit better over the last few weeks, so that one may end up going too. So I got a minute left. Let's see what the temperature is. Now it's 100 degrees, so it's not cool enough yet. Yeah, my pH is going to be high, so we're going to add some lactic acid because it is 5.7. And we're still at 95 degrees, so I'm going to add I'm going to add 2 mils. And we'll see what that does. Sure, it didn't circulate yet. I don't know why it took it so quick. Thanks, Bobby. So what other systems of people out there have? What kind of brew systems you guys using? While I clean up this mess. Hopefully my microphone and stuff doesn't go dead. Let's check this pH now. All right, so at 110 degrees, we're at 5.4. We're going to call it good because it's going to probably go to just under 5.5 by the time it gets down to 60 degrees. So that's cool. I think we're good with that. Yeah, I'm at 5.37 right now. We'll set this off to the side and see what it actually becomes, but I'm not going to change anything now. I'll keep it the way it is. Brewzilla, huh, Bob? All right. Yeah, when I switched to Clawhammer, because I was doing the propane, the big cooler for my mash tun. I had two half kegs, half barrels that I cut the tops off. So I had one as my brew pot, and then I had one as a hot liquor tank. And I had a 2-burner setup. It was actually a turkey fryer setup. It was on a cart. It was actually the whole thing was a cart, and I had a lower section and an upper section, and they both had burners on them. So I could boil on one, use one as a hot liquor tank, and then I would mash in a large cooler, and that worked out great. I did everything, which I had to do it in the garage because of the propane. But my false bottom was copper pipes that I had done like it was like an oval or a rectangle, and then there was 2 more pipes coming down through the center. So, and then I cut slits in all the one side of all those pipes, and the slits stayed on the bottom side, and it worked great. You'd whirl off, and eventually you'd get a clear running, and that was a good setup. I did not mind that one at all, except I didn't like being out in the garage, especially because right now it is. Let's check out this weather here. It is 11 degrees Fahrenheit right now in Rochester. So not the day you want to be out in the garage brewing beer. So anyways, when I got the Clawhammer, I've had it for 2 years now. Doing step mashes, God, it's so easy. I mean, I got the set at 158. We're at 158.7. So I definitely the best way to go. I would like to get the 20-gallon system. Not that I'm doing such large batches, but when you get into the really high gravity beers, if you're going to go with a 5-gallon batch, the 10-gallon kettle is just not big enough. I've maxed this thing out. Just if you guys saw the video not too long ago, the Scotch Ale, this was maxed. It was definitely maxed out, and I probably should have done a 3-gallon batch or something, 3.5-gallon batch, just so I didn't max out the system. But oh well. So, anyways, yeah, Bobby, I hope you like it. No, I don't. I do not have a hood that takes this out. Um, I thought about getting one. I also thought about getting a condenser lid to alleviate the steam down here in the basement. And the only issue I have is when it starts collecting on the cold water pipes, and then it'll start dripping. But I don't have anything else. The only thing it does drip on is maybe over on my printer once in a while. I usually throw a towel over the top of that just when I'm brewing. So, but otherwise, I don't really have an issue with it. I have block windows down here, so I don't really want to have to go through the. I could probably go through, but my deck is right behind me outside, and it would actually vent underneath the deck, and then all that. I don't want all that steam going underneath my deck, um, so I'm not going to probably do it. The only thing I could think of doing is just doing a regular vent hood. But is it really going to take the steam? I don't know. It probably would. It would probably just collect the steam in the vent hood and drip back down. Um, I know Martin Keene, um, years back, he was installing a vent hood and he had issues with his um, actually venting. And it doesn't look like he uses it now, at least on his videos. Now, maybe he turns it off just because of the noise, but it doesn't appear that he uses that. What else you got for me, Bobby? You're the only one talking. Oh, Cleveland. Hey, all right, Cleveland. I've been to Cleveland. Cleveland, not bad. To be honest, it wasn't always that great though. I remember Cleveland was nothing against you, Bobby, but I remember Cleveland was not the best place to go. But then again, Rochester's not a place you want to hang out in either. So great things to see in Rochester, but you get in the wrong neighborhood. All right, let's see what this final. Well, it's still over 100, but we're good. Yeah, this is going to be good. We should have good conversion. Actually, I should probably take a gravity just to see how we're doing. So I don't know how this looks to you guys. Um, I'm not in a very big space. The basement's big, but this area I have is not that large. So it can be tight, especially when you start getting lights and cameras up, tripods. I got a computer over there that I don't have down here, but for the live feed, I had to bring it in here. Um, got my iPad here. Did I freeze up? What the hell? Looks like I froze up. Oh, is it, Bob? It might be this. And for some reason, I can't find my damn YouTube on my. Oh, there it is. Oh no, that ain't it. There, no, that ain't it. There it is. There. Hey, all right, we're back. All right. It was my iPad, not my feed. So, anyways, what the hell was I doing? I think I was gonna check the pH, or not the pH, but the gravity. I've said this before. Um, I don't 100% trust these refractometers, especially this one that I have because it's a cheaper brand. I didn't really feel like spending a shit ton of money on a refractometer when I have a hydrometer that I can get a little bit more accurate readings. So we're at like 1039. Now, usually when it's a lower gravity reading, it's usually pretty good. Once you start getting to the higher gravity numbers, it seems to be off. So what did I say? 1039, right? And we're supposed to be at 1059. Oh no, 1042 for pre-boil. So we're doing pretty good. Bob, do you do your brew days inside or outside, or like in a garage or something? I know you said something. It's like what, 10 in Cleveland? Yeah, yeah, it's brutal, man. We're getting that Arctic blast. I could probably put this over here at least temporarily. So we got a half hour, 27 minutes left in the mash. So yeah, yeah, you're right, Bob. Definitely, it definitely was a good way to get your beer cool quick or your work cooled quick when you're out in the garage and it's under 20 degrees. Uh, Definitely could get it cooled down. Um, but even though it's at least now in the wintertime, the tap coming in into the house is a lot cooler than it was during the summers. So I've noticed that the last few beer brews I've had when it's been chilly out, that the wort is chilled down, right before I even get it into the fermenter. I'm putting it in the fermenter at about 67, 66 degrees. Summertime, it's like 75, 77 degrees. Usually what I'm going to get it at down to. And then I got to throw it in the fermentation chamber to get it down the rest of the way, especially if you're doing a lager. Bob, are you doing any lagers? Who else is watching? Well, I think one of them is me. So we got Bobby, 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 and Bobby. There's one thing I did do, and I do that to try and figure out my water profiles. I actually downloaded the shit. Hold on, let me see if I got that book up here. Oh, that ain't it. Where is my water book? I think it's out here. Hold on, I'll be right back. There it is. All right, so it's the water book comprehensive guide. And the John Palmer and Colin Kamansky. So I found a PDF version of this online. And so I got the PDF on my computer, and then I went into Chat GPT and I put that PDF in there. And then I can ask it questions in regards to like the style of beer I'm making, and it will use the book as a reference to help me calculate my water profile based on whatever beer I'm making. So if anybody's interested in that, I don't think I'm going to attach the link to the PDF. I may not have the right to do that, so I don't think I'm going to do that. You can look it up for yourself. I actually just put in the title of the book and John Palmer, I think, or something like that, and then put PDF after the, at the end of the search, and it came right up. And it was the PDF. I think it was the entire book. I'd have to go look on my computer, but definitely helps when you're trying to figure out your water profile. Gives you some good ideas. Gives you at least a ballpark. I know Brewfather. They give you the range. So I'm sure Beersmith does too. I've only been using Brewfather for maybe 5 months, 6 months. I was a Beersmith guy for 12, 15, I don't even know, 15 years, I guess. And so, you get that range. Your parts per million should be between 10 and 20 or 60 and 80 or, less than 50. Your bicarbonates to say less than 50. Well, was it 49 or is it 3? So it helps using the Chat GPT and entering the PDF into that. And, that way you can ask questions and it sort of gives you a response. Sometimes it will not check the reference that you put in, and you actually have to ask it, did you check the water guide? And it'll come back and say, oh, no, I did not. Let me check that and get back to you, or whatever the hell it says. So, but I do use ChatGPT quite a bit. Munich Hellas, yes. All right, Bobby, you got to go to a meeting, I see, huh? Well, that sucks. That's what's nice about being retired. I only work part-time. Um, we have a Hellas coming out at the Genesee Brew House that Dean made. This is going to be his New York State Governor's Cup Hellas that he made, that he won the New York State Governor's Cup 2 years ago. And he missed the competition last year because he didn't think that his Hellas was done fermenting. He didn't feel it was in the spot where it should have been to be entered in a competition. So last year he did not send his Hellas in, but this year he made it a little bit earlier, and so that one should be ready for that competition. So hopefully he'll have a repeat, even though it's not exactly 2 years in a row, but it'll be 2 years in a row for him because of he's only entered it twice, or will have entered it twice. Then we got the, as I said, there's a competition here in Niagara Falls. Was it the Waving Grains, something like that? And like I said, I'm going to send a couple to that one. The National Homebrew Competition's coming up. I will probably send something to that. Actually, the very first competition I sent a beer to was the National Homebrew Competition, and I scored like a 34 on an IPA that I sent. I was like really surprised. I didn't win a medal or anything, but I did get this little certificate that I hang on my wall. Since then, I've entered other competitions. Nothing, I'm right around that 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. I'm right in that score range, usually with my beers. Um, got to get them up to that 40 number. Yeah, Bobby, you should. It's I like doing the competitions, and not necessarily that I think I'm going to be winning something. Um, my beers are drinkable. I like my beers. I guess judging is, it's every competition is going to be different. I've sent two of the same beers to two different competitions, and I've got totally two different scores. So it's based on the judges, and what they're feeling that day. Not that they're choosing another beer over another beer because they don't know who these beers are coming from. So it's not like it's judging that way that they may favor somebody over somebody else. I just think it's that one day your taste buds are on point, and you're picking up a lot of things, and another day, maybe you're just a hair stuffy, and you're like going, man, I'm not picking up the aromas. I'm not picking up what I should be, and so, but it gives you good feedback. Um, I believe the scores that I've gotten back and the comments I've gotten back from judges, because they will actually write comments on the judging sheet. They, I believe they've been fairly accurate in what they've said. I feel I didn't disagree with them on those points that they brought out. So I feel that it's good feedback. If you really want to up your game, it's good to have somebody critique what you got. As I always say, your buddies love free beer, so they're not going to say anything bad, or at least not awfully bad. I do have some friends that are very honest with me, and so at least I get, hey Mace, you gotta go out. The dog just came down to visit. You gotta go outside, huh? You gotta go outside. All right, well, hold on. Let's go outside. We got we got 20 minutes left before the mash is done. I'll be right back. Come on, outside. I'm sure you still can hear me chat because I got a wireless microphone on. So don't go away. I'll be right there. Just go wait till the dog comes in. Come on, Macy. Hey. Oh, God, she's wandering around the yard. All right, I'm back, but I got to go back upstairs because the dog's still outside. We're going to call it 5.6. So my pH never didn't come down to 5.5 like I wanted. It's actually 5.6, but as long as it's not above 5.6. How many we got? We still got 4 on here. Cool. So we got 13 minutes, 13 and a half minutes before the mash is done. I tend to stir up my mash and on this type of system. Obviously, if you're using like a mash tun, you're not going to want to because you want that grain bed to settle. But with this system, you can do that. It's probably loud, isn't it? Oh well. But I usually try and stir it up, try and break free some of those sugars so they don't get stuck in there, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if it works, but it's what I do. So, all right, let me go check to see if the dog's ready to come in because it's cold out. I'll be right back. There she is. I'm coming, Macy. Come on. Cold out there, huh? At least it's sunny. Oh, it's 12 degrees now. Who else is here? I got Bobby. He's the only one that's making comments here. Actually, why don't we take the gravity real quick? Or sheeps. Yeah, gravity. That's what I said. I was right. I'm getting hungry too. This is not moving. We're at the same. Well, that's not good. right, Bobby, take care. I see that you left. No, that's actually 5.5. Very that. Yeah, it's supposed to be at 5.53, and I'm at 5.54. The hell is stupid? Oh, I see. Oh. So what else we got, people? Chat's quiet. Anybody selling a fermenter? I gotta get another fermenter. I got an all rounder with the jar underneath, and I've gone through. I think I'm on my fourth jar because they keep cracking, and now I noticed the top of the all rounder is now cracked. So that's junk. I can't use it, and I don't want to get another one because I don't like replacing those jars. And I only hand them. So and I'm not, look at me, I'm not that strong. Um, so I don't know why the uh, the material they use, and I'm sure there's a reason for the type of material they use, but it's very brittle, and it seems to crack and splinter very easily. So, anyways, I need a conical stainless and something that can hold, like 3 to 5 pounds of pressure. Just enough to transfer it. And or anybody got any out there? I know the Deltas are a relatively inexpensive fermenter, and I got a Delta, and I like it. I like the conical. I want a conical that has a port at the very bottom, though, so I can actually drop the trub um, during fermentation. So that's what I want. I don't feel like spending, you know, $350, $400 on a fermenter. Um, I would rather pick up one used. Usually, that's actually one of my small 4-gallon fermenter is I picked up used from a local home brewer. The guy just wasn't into it anymore, and he had a bigger one. At the time I was like, I don't need the other one. I should have bought both of them, but I didn't because he had a 7-gallon one too. But I didn't buy it. So there's that. Anybody's here that wasn't here earlier? We're doing an IPA, West Coast IPA. It is like similar to Lagunitas. I love Lagunitas IPAs, and so I haven't actually made one that's supposed to be like that. I'm not going to say this is a clone, but it should be pretty close. I found the clone recipe online, but I did tweak this a little bit, so we'll see. The IBUs are at 69 for what I'm doing here. So it's going to be on the high side of the hoppiness side. or at least the bitter side. And if you want, I got 5 pounds, 2.5 ounces of 2-row in here, 10.6 ounces of caramel malt 10L, 6.7 ounces of Munich Light, 6.7 ounces of wheat malt, and 4.4 ounces of caramel crystal, which is a 50/60. And then we're using Magnum at 60 minutes, Willamette at 30 minutes, Centennial at 30 minutes, Cascade at flame out, Cascade and Centennial for dry hopping. This probably won't be, obviously I'm not going to be doing a live video stream when I'm dry hopping, but I usually use these, they're tea bags. Let me see if I can find them. Oh, that's not it. Is that it? No, that's not. Where the hell is it? That ain't it. Yeah, it's gonna be the last drawer I go into. Oh, yeah, the one that says hot bags. Idiot. So, anyways, cold brew coffee bags. That's what these are. Can you see that? So, anyways, and this is 100 count. I've used one so far, but I think they were pretty cheap. But unless you're doing a lot, and if you're doing a lot of adding a lot of hops, use 2 because they are going to expand. But that's how big they are. So I mean, compared to, you know, this is what do I got? Half ounce of hops right here. Yeah, half ounce of magnums right here. So that would be fine. And then I use the soybean magnets right here. So you throw one of these soybean magnets inside the bag, and then on top of the fermenter, it'll end up sticking to the top from inside because of the magnet. And then when you're ready to dry hop, you just pull the magnet off, and then the bag falls and goes into your fermenter. So that's what I do. I do sterilize these prior to using them. And like I said, if you're adding more than maybe an ounce, I would split it and use 2. I have the soybean thing, when you're the actual thing upstairs. And so that I got another, like, I think 6 magnets in it. So if I need more, I got more upstairs, but I just keep 2 down here because that's usually all I need is 2. Then probably should plug that in. Let's see. Is this the right size? Sure, this is the right size. That one. No, it ain't that one. No, this isn't the right size. It's definitely too big, right? Oh no, that's the right one over here. The fuck? That'll work. And plug this in the back to charge. Oh shit! I don't have another USB port. Oh, mash is done. Oh yeah, I do for the mouse. Nah, balls. Hmm. Well, that's not going to work. Balls, balls, balls. Well, we'll worry about it when it dies. How about that? I don't know if you guys can still even hear me. Is the mash done, or was that my phone ringing? Oh no, the mash is done, right? Well, let's take another gravity. Smelling like work. She just don't. Okay, it's gone up. We're at 1040. That might change in a couple seconds, anyways. Hooks. I'm gonna let that drain. I gotta go grab my hot cover. So I can squeeze that out a little bit. I'm gonna go grab that. Be right back. What was I gonna do? I was gonna do something. Hmm. I don't know. Oh, I know what I was gonna do. I need to get that bucket. I'll tell you what, chat. Since I moved down here in the basement, I had to add the sink because there was no sink down here. And it is a godsend because it's so easy to just rinse something off. Quickens up the cleanup time when you can just throw it in the sink and clean it off. Anybody else left here? Let's see if usually this will change a hair. Yeah, 1041. Yeah, that's what we're going with. $1041, 4 gallons. Get that rolling. Rolling. Yeah, boy. What is my volume supposed to be? Boil volume 4.22. I am at 4, and I'll drain the hoses, and I'll probably get a little bit more out of it. So we'll do that now. You guys do this? I always do this. I have a bucket I keep underneath my pump. You can't see it, but I swear to God, it's here. I swear to God. Ah, get out of the way, you. Man. No, that wasn't even open all the way. Oh, now it's open. All right. Put this back on. Put that there. Is this draining at all? Yeah, barely. Who's here? Nobody's talking on the chat, man. What are you guys on your TVs? All right. Hoses. Eh, probably 4.1. Close enough. right, so this one is going to go. We're in. Oh, you know what? I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Clawhammer. I'm still here. When they do their pill, they go from the kettle to the chiller, out of the chiller, into the pump, out of the pump, and then recirculate or whatever you're doing. I've always done it kettle to pump, out of pump, into chiller, out of chiller to recirculate. And I saw them do it on a live brew day the other week, and that's how they had it set up. That's what Emmett was saying, I believe. And so I'm going to do it that way and see what happens. And this is almost to a boil. Yeah, where I boil it about 210. So at least with the lower volume, I'm going to be able to boil quicker or get up to boil quicker. Also, I use these. I don't know if you guys, for my plate chiller, I have their hose, just regular hose, garden hose connectors, quick connects. And on the other side is and it's just like the ones that you get from Clawhammer for the plate chiller and their hoses that they use. So that's what I use. But it makes it so much easier. All right, we're just about to boil, so I'll hold off on this stuff until I can get this set up. Yeah, well, this, not that I need it, but I say with 4.1 was the boil volume. All right, so we're boiling. And this is a half ounce of Magnum, right? I forgot what I was doing. Yep, half ounce of Magnum. These are 15 and a half alpha acid. Hey Siri, set a timer for 60 minutes.
60.
Hey Siri, set a timer for 30 minutes. So our boil is going to be 60-minute boil, but I set another timer for 30 minutes because our next hop edition goes in at 30 minutes. Cool, right? And I'm getting hungry. All right, so I got all no, I don't. One more hose. No. There, now we're set. So the plate chiller is all hooked up, and my cooling lines are all hooked up. I got lots of cords. I should probably check the temperature of my coolers so I know. Oh, why is my freezer at 39? I don't need it down that cold. Hmm. What else are you supposed to talk about when on live stream when you're watching wort boil? Oh, I know what I can do. We got to weigh out the rest of our hops because I haven't done that yet. So our next batch, we got half ounce of Willamette. I think I don't know how much is in here. I didn't write it down. So these are 4.9%. I said a half ounce. Woo! Overshot. Oh, perfect. Oh, let's see what these are. Oh, that's a half. Yeah, we'll say 1 ounce in that. Where's my marker? I have a marker over here. Where the hell did it go? Oh, there it is. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you guys do this. I keep a spreadsheet of my inventory, um, and then I just write down what I used, and then when I enter it back on my computer, it subtracts it out. So let's get to the hop page. And the Willamette. I had other one, didn't I? So that's the 2 ounce bag. That one's fine. This one was an ounce, but it says it's an ounce left. That had to have been a 2 ounce bag, right? Yeah, that was a 2 ounce bag. We're gonna say that. Centennial, I don't even have. Oh, wait a minute. I got Centennial right there, 1 ounce. Yep. And we're going to use, we're using 07. All right. So we're used is 0.07. Woo! Man, I can smell these as soon as I open them up. Holy crap. One more. Okay, those are done. So that's the first hop edition, or excuse me, second hop edition at 30 minutes. Then a half ounce of Cascade for flame out. That's wet. I can't use that one. That's wet. That's not. All right, we went 0.6 because that's all I got left. Oh, I got a 0.6. That's not going to change the IBUs anyways. That flame out. So I'm not going to worry about it. And I like Cascade hops a lot. So they will add shit to it. I can reuse this bag. To vacuum seal those up. And then, why do I get? Oh, I didn't need these other Willamette hops. I had enough in the one bag. All right, so I wrote down all my. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I had 2 packets left. I just bought 3, didn't I? Yeah, 3. Yep. All right. So we'll use one of these. So I had to grab my USO5 yeast just so I got it. I just bought a couple packets the other day. You go on Beersmith and you got, or not Beersmith, more beer, and you get free shipping if your total is $59 or more. And I was under. I was like 40 something. So I just threw in 3 bags of USO5 or 3 pouches. It put me over the amount, and so I got free shipping. All right. So go to the yeast page. So I bought plus 3. That equals 5. Used 1. Right now is 4. What's the date on this? 3/25. And the only other thing we got to do is weigh out our yeast nutrient. And I use 1 gram per gallon. We're going to be at around 3 gallons on my post boil. So we'll use 3 grams. Holy shit. Dead nuts. And a World Flock tablet, it calls for a half. I don't ever use a half. I need to open that up a little. All right, there's like half tablet for 5 gallons. Suppose I could break it in half, even though it's. Oh, yeah, look at that. Busted it all over the place. All right, so we got our 2:30 minutes. Oh no, that's our 30-minute. There. Awfully quiet, chat. Not saying much on the chat. How long we been at this? It says an hour ago. Whew. Sounds good. What else we got to do? Maybe clean up a little bit. This table's a mess. Put this down and oh, there it is. Where did I put? Oh, there it is. You ever sit down your phone and or look for your phone and it's in your hand? Another extension cord. Well, I got that one over there, don't I? No. I know which one I got. All right. Microphone still working? I just plugged in the receiver. Yep, still working because I can hear myself. You might have three. Weaved it. So I didn't have my whiskey and work after I did the mash, but it was a little early at the time. A little early for doing whiskey. We can do this. Let's in. Oh, I'm the only one on here. Switzerland. Sweet. What are you brewing in Switzerland? We got 5 minutes left before our next hop edition, which is the 30-minute mark. And then at 15, we'll do our yeast nutrient and Werflock. And then at Flame Out, we're going to do Cascade, another hop edition. Manuel, are you still here from Switzerland? Or did you log in and go away? I'm not sure what you mean by that question, Manuel. Um, how long is this specific brew I got left? Right now, I got a half hour until the boil's done, and then we'll start chilling and do our flame out edition. Get it in the fermenter. How long have I been using this claw hammer system? If that's what you meant, I've had this for approximately 2 years, and I love it. Way better than propane in a cooler for a mash tun. Definitely good for step mashes because you can set the temperature, set and forget, basically. Right now, I keep it at 60% uh, for my boil. That happens, I feel, is the best one. Some, like Clawhammer, they usually go down. If they're using the 240-volt system, they usually will go down to maybe 50%, 55. I do 60. If they are using the 110 system, then I think they keep it at 100% for the boil because it just doesn't heat it up. But the 240 is, she's lightning fast. I mean, I can get this thing going. I mean, today I had it, I bet it took 10 minutes from the end of mash at 158 degrees to boil in probably 10 minutes. Now I'm only doing a 3-gallon batch, so obviously it heated up a lot quicker than it would have if it was a 5-gallon batch. But still, even if I'm doing a full batch, from mash to boil, it's still like 15 minutes. I mean, it's fast. Usually, it will start boiling before the basket's done draining. I'm trying to think what I got to eat upstairs because I am hungry. Do Manuel, the efficiency, I get 72% efficiency. So that's what I get. I think Clawhammer, if you ever watch their videos, I think they're getting a little bit better. I'm not sure. Emmett was talking about it the other day, and I thought he said it was upwards to 75. I don't know. But I get, like I said, 70, 72, pretty consistent. When I do high gravity beers, that efficiency comes down to around 65. But I'm happy with the system. What are you using? Are you using electric, propane, gas, flint? Oh, all right. So adding in our second edition of hops, this is going to be our 30-minute edition, half ounce of Willamette and 0.7 ounces of Centennial. The reason I'm using such a low amount of Centennial is because they're cryo hops, and the Centennials are 18.5% alpha acid. So they're in. Hey Siri, set a timer for 15 minutes.
15 minutes, starting now.
So as I said, that was our 30-minute edition. 15 minutes. I just got to do yeast nutrient Warflock tablet. Oh, I got to get my fermenter ready. That'll help. I know it's clean. I just gotta throw some star sand in it. And I'm also going to add both tilts because I want to see if these things are reading the same. Throw those in there. What else do I got to do? I got to get my hydrometer. Get that out. Ooh. Star sand. Aerator. Anybody use a pure oxygen to aerate their work? I use this. It's basically it's a fish pump. I did get it from More Beer, and then it's got the like pumice head thingy. It's got a filter on it, which they say you don't get wet, and that looks like it's gotten wet. I see bubbles in there. Oh well. I'll drop that in there. In the star sand. But that's what I use to aerate. More beer in their little directions, or maybe it came with directions. I can't remember. They said to aerate with this for 20 minutes. So I just set a timer, let it run for 20 minutes. And it's not that I mean, if I just took it, for 30 seconds, a minute would do the same thing. But I always end up, I'm cleaning and I'm trying to pick up things. So, it's just something that I can just set and go and I don't have to worry about it. But I think I want to get oxygen, pure oxygen, and do it that way in the future. And I'm just wondering if anybody here in chat does that. Oh, Manuel's typing like crazy over here. Oh, I see what you're saying, Manuel. Okay. So this morning we started at 11. I already milled the grain and I had my water was up to temperature and my salts were added. I mean, milling and weighing out my grain, the 15 minutes or something, to get that done. Um, so what we're at 1 o'clock right now, our time. So right now we have been 2 hours and this will be done in roughly 25 minutes. So then we'll be at 2.5 hours. And then cleanup. So I'm probably looking at 3.5 hours today. We're doing a small batch. So the heat up times have been a lot quicker between mash and boil. because I'm doing, like I said, 3 gallons, whatever that is in liters, because I know you're using liters over here. And so now I understand what you were asking. Also, I've been brewing for 25 years. I started in the late 90s doing extract, and I stayed doing extract probably till 2010. So I was like good 12 years or so just doing extract and bottling, and bottle conditioning. And then I switched over to all grain, and I think as soon as I went to all grain, I immediately went to kegging. I don't recall doing all grain batches and bottling it. I think I switched everything over at the same time. Now I had a gap when I was doing extract, in between extract and all grain, for I think maybe a year, 2 years. There was a gap in there. And then I bought this system, like what I said, 2 years ago now. So I did the all grain propane lauter or mash tun in the cooler for almost 10 years. Like probably 8.5, 9 years I did that. What are we down to here? We're getting low. So yeah, that's how long I've been doing it. I should probably check my gravity, but you know what? What the hell's the difference now? We're at the end. Yeah, maybe I already put it away. I put the other one away. I'm not going to worry about it. Just because I think I've boiled off more than I really want. But that's okay. We're supposed to have 3 gallons at the end of the boil. We're probably around 3 gallons right now. Maybe a hair under. It's hard to tell. Manuel, how long you been brewing? Oops. Tail's moving. I locked that. Yeah, it's locked. Hmm. We're getting there, folks. 5 minutes. We'll add in our Werflock, yeast nutrient, and then we'll have 15 minutes left before we do a flame out edition and whirlpool. Yeah, this isn't a whirlpool edition though. This is just a flame out edition. But I will whirlpool it because I want to get some of that pop out of it. 5, 6 years, but directly all grain and with kegs from the very first brew. Washing the bottles, too much work for me. Yeah, that's no shit. Um, the washing bottles and filling, because you fill a couple bottles here and there, to bring to somebody's house isn't a big deal. When you're filling a couple cases of bottles. My back, and I have a bad back as it already, would be killing me after that. So yeah, kegging is definitely the way to go. Wish I had done it a lot sooner. But with kegging, there's keezers, and with keezers, there's other things. So, but I do have two fermentation chambers now. I bought a small freezer that I can fit probably two fermenters in. And then I have an old refrigerator that I use as a fermentation chamber, but that really, I can probably fit two. It only fit my all rounder um, because that's a lot fatter, chubbier, but I'm not using the all rounder anymore. I said earlier that I've had nothing but problems with the material that they make it out of. The jars I've gone through, they've cracked. And now the actual top of the all rounder where it threads in the cap is now also cracked and it doesn't hold pressure. And if it's not holding pressure, it's also not holding, it's not airtight in order to keep out any contaminants. So I don't use it anymore and I'm going to have to chuck it. So I will probably I got some parts on there that I want to take off because I put in a um, temperature probe through the top that I would use. So I can take that off and use that somewhere else. Um, Pressure relief valve on the top, I'll take that off. But otherwise, I'll probably end up chucking it because I'm not happy with it. It was great when it wasn't cracked or something. I like that I was able to drop trub and, your hot material would settle out to the bottom. You can close off the butterfly valve and remove that jar. And then also I would use that to dry hop. I would take off the jar, clean it, sterilize it, put my hops in it, put it back on, pressurize it, and then open the butterfly valve. And if you got higher pressure in the jar compared to the rest of the fermenter, those hops would shoot right up inside. So I did like that. Um, I didn't feel the reason with that system to get like the hop bong that goes on top and you can drop your hops in that way. And also, um, it wouldn't fit in my refrigerator that I use as it sits right now. And with an airlock on top, it's right to the top. Nothing, I can't get anything above it. So using a hot bong wouldn't have worked. Now, my chest freezer, which is right here next to me, I am probably going to add a collar onto this. Right now, it's just this stock size, but I'm going to probably add a collar to raise the lid up, and then um, whatever next fermenter I get, if I am using a hop bong type dry hop system, I'll make sure it fits. Yeah, yeah. Again, Manuel, I agree with you. Um, they are plastic. If you read the side, there's a print on the side of the all rounders, and you're supposed to test the pressure after I think 3 years to make sure that it still holds pressure. Now, and more beer, at least that's because that's where I got mine. They have the printout for that and shows you how to do it, tells you how to do it. I also have a video. Um, Maybe I'll link it after this is all done to this video where I actually ran it through a pressure test to make sure that it was still holding pressure. And it did. At that point, it was still holding pressure. Um, but yeah, again, it's what if that stops holding pressure? You got to replace it. My stainless steel ones, I should never have to replace unless I just want to. Um, 15 minutes left. We're adding in our yeast tablet and yeast, nu- yeast tablet, yeast nutrient and Werflock tablet. So that's in. And we got 15 minutes left. All right. So as I said, 15 minutes. We had our last edition. That's going to be a half ounce of Cascade. These are 11% alpha acid. Oh, we got to turn on the pump so we can get the chiller and the pump and everything sanitized. There we go. Come on, baby. I'm trying to get this pump primed. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, baby. Come All right, so I use the claw hammer setup. At least I think that's how they said to do it. Oh, there we go. I don't get the flow as well as I do if I go directly into the pump and then to the work chiller. But I think it was Emmett that was setting it up the other day that went from the work chiller and then into the pump. So, anyways, let me turn this off so I can hook it up to the whirlpool arm. It's hotter than fuck. Yeah, not a great whirlpool flow, but it's flowing. But the reason he did say that, no, yeah, the reason he did say to hook it up that way is if you're gonna turn down the flow, you're gonna want to turn the flow down after the pump and not from the coming out of the kettle, because that will actually starve the pump. All right, now we got a good flow going. Just took a little bit. Oh, now we're going. Okay, we're moving now, baby. And we're still boiling, which is good because I don't want it to cool down. Oh, what's on CNN? Getting through it, getting close. So I don't know if Manuel, if you're still here or not. I don't usually the like my hoses and stuff for my wort chiller, just the cold water hoses. Those, as soon as I'm done, I'll roll up and put away. Uh, Everything else, I will then fill my kettle back up with water, get it all rinsed, run a rinse through the plate chiller and pump. Then I will then fill it again with. I usually go about 118 degree Fahrenheit water, and then add my PPW. Let that circulate, and I'll let it circulate for a while, and then I'll come down and I'll run it through the whirlpool arm, and then I'll take that off. I'll run it through the the recirculating nozzle that's on the lid. Um, Make sure everything gets rinsed, and then I'll dump that, fill it, make sure the kettle's rinsed very well, then run some clean water, and then run that through the whole system again. And that's usually it. So I don't sit here and clean per se. I don't just sit down here and clean all my stuff. I usually just get it set up and just let the PPW do its job. And I come down and check it every hour, switch things around, make sure everything's getting touched by the PPW. Um, I got a keg over here, or not a keg, I got a fermenter over here I filled with PPW to clean. And it's still sitting there with PPW in it. I haven't done anything with it. I think I got some hoses in there, some parts that have just been soaking, and I'll probably clean them out later today or tomorrow. I've never clogged my plate chiller. No, I have not. If I do not use the hop spider, I also have a counterflow chiller that I made. I made it years and years and years ago. I haven't used it in the last couple months because I accidentally bent one of the copper pipes that comes out of it, and it uh, creased it, put a hole in it, and I just haven't repaired it yet. But typically, um, if I'm doing a lot of hop additions, and I'd rather not use the hop spider, but if I'm using my plate chiller, then I use the hop spider. Sometimes my last edition, not this one, but sometimes I will. Like if I'm doing a whirlpool edition, sometimes I'll just add that in there, and even if I'm using my plate chiller. But no, I haven't had it clog. Um, Let me show you the plate chiller, or not the plate chiller. Jesus Christ, the counterflow chiller. I got kegs and stuff over here. All right, so this is the counterflow chiller. Um, and this is I made myself, but it's copper pipe that goes in a garden hose and then circulates around. I do got one quick disconnect on this side. I usually just take the other quick disconnect off my plate chiller and add it onto here. But you can see right here, it bent. At least with maybe you can see it, probably not. Who knows? It's not focusing. Who knows? But anyways, it tweaked right there, and I got to fix that. Because actually it's not split, but it reduces the flow. So I got to fix it. But it works freaking fantastic. Put that back on the shelf. Um, ugh. This is the worst part of brewing is making sure you got everything ready to go to get in the fermenter. Um, it's like last minute you're going, oh shit, I forgot that. So let me think. What did I forget? I'm going to use a hose. I got a hose in there for my blow off. I think I'm going to be good. That pump is making some noises. Is it the pump? It's almost like it's sucking air. Hmm. All right. We are done with that. Heat off. Last edition in. Get them all. Okay. Um, Rinse this out. Oh, okay. Did you say, Manuel, did you say what you use? I think you said electric, right? Is it a homemade electric system or did you buy one? And yeah, I flip flop. with the hop spider. But if I had my counterflow chiller working right, then I wouldn't use the hop spider. I'd use my counterflow chiller. But the plate chiller is fantastic. I mean, it does the job. It definitely cools the wort down, and it cools it pretty quick. What do we eat here? I'm gonna start to chill this just a little bit, and then I'll turn off the water. It seems like my pump is working extra hard here. I've got two pumps, but I haven't had to use the other one. And now I need my step stool because I can't reach the water bib. Well, if anybody's interested, this is the first time I've done a live stream. If you're not interested, then the hell with you. There we go. The only thing with filming and you're doing this stuff is it gets loud. And you don't notice it until you hear it coming back. Yeah, if you can see the temperature, is that on the screen? Yeah, that's on the screen. I mean, that's how fast that's dropping down. And I'm not even running it that quick right now. And I'll probably stop it right there because I don't want to chill it too much. Hey Siri, set a timer for 10 minutes.
10 minutes starting now. Starting now.
Wow. You make 30 gallons at a time? Yeah, I wouldn't be using a hop spider either. Right? 115 liters. Hey Siri. Hey Siri. How many gallons is 115 liters?
100.
Yeah, 30 gallons. Yeah. What are you giving it all away? Selling it? Man, I'm making 5 gallons at a time and I'm having a hell of a time getting through it. Well, let me get the fermenter ready. Who do we got here, anyways? Oh, so the craft beer hasn't really gotten has exploded like here. Yeah, I don't really like to drink macro beer. Um, I do like Genesee's beer. I have never liked Budweiser. I don't know what you guys get over there, but I don't like those beers. That sucks that you guys, the big companies have locked down the pubs and bars and stuff to only that they're only serving those beers. But yeah, that was one of the reasons why I got into making my own beer. Also, was just because the selection, back in the '90s, early 2000s, the selections of beers just wasn't there. Um, I mean, my first dark beer was Guinness, a stout, and I was like, oh my god, this thing is bitter as hell. And now it's like water. I mean, it's definitely my palate has definitely changed over the years. What do we got here? A couple minutes, and then I'll start really chilling this down, and then we'll fill the fermenter and go have lunch and get off YouTube. Yeah, yeah, okay. All people drink lager. Is that what they? It's all lagers for the most part in Switzerland. Um, Here, uh, it got to the extreme of ales, especially with IPAs and things like that. And now the lagers, the trend is going back towards lagers here in the States. So we're seeing obviously IPAs are still the number one craft beer, but we're seeing a lot more lager beers at a lot of our craft breweries, more than what we used to see, and which is nice because I've actually been making lagers because I haven't had a up until a couple years ago I didn't have a way of fermenting cool. I would just ferment in my basement, and whatever temperature it happened to be in my basement is what was getting fermented at. But now I can do lagers, and so I've made. You can go back on my channel, like the Baltic Porter. Um, Phenomenal beer. I was so surprised at how well that tasted, and that's a lager, So, and I've made some other lager. I had my Czech Pilsner, um, which a bunch of the guys that are work at the brewery with me, they um, really like my Czech lager, and that was a um, I forgot what the hell I did. Not step mash, but when you boil the mash, partial mash. Anyways, I'm losing my mind. But it was one of my loggers that came out phenomenal. What do we got here? All right, that's close. Minute and a half. I'm gonna start chilling this down so I can get it in the fermenter, so I can go on with my day. Alrighty then. I'm going to. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait till I start filling the fermenter up. I was going to take a gravity reading with the hydrometer, but I think I'm going to wait till I start filling the fermenter because then it will be a lot cooler, closer to my 60 degrees mark. Yeah, I agree on the lagers that are coming out. Do you guys get the typical Budweisers, Miller? I don't know what you guys get over there. I'm sure you get Budweiser because that's everywhere. Um, but yeah, like our Buds, our Coors, um, our lagers that have been around for since Prohibition, basically, um, are very light, thin, no body, but they serve their purpose. I mean, that's, some people, that's what they like. I think a lot of people like those and are scared to go to something else. They'll say they don't like craft beer, and that's because they haven't just had the one that they would like. Um, I mean, a lot of people that like craft beer don't like IPAs. They just don't want a hoppy beer. Uh, some people, all they will drink is dark beers. So it depends on what you want and what you like. But I think people that say they don't like craft beer because they like their American lagers, um, just are not. They just haven't tried the right one. And I think if they did, um, they would start to venture out and try different ones. I got a lot of friends that are just locked into their American lager beers, and that's all they'll drink, and they will not try anything else. Come on, let's get the other one on there. There we go. All right, so that's coming in at about 72. Feld, I'm going to brutal this. Feldschlausen. All right, let me look this up. Feld's. Oh, there it is. So it's a German-speaking area of Switzerland? Huh, no kidding. Wow. So I'm on Wikipedia, and they show the brewery. Is this the actual brewery? Oh, it's a Carlsberg. They own it. I see that now. Oh, it's a cool looking building, though. I'll tell you that. That's cool. Now, do you know, Manuel? Do you know if it's because I'm looking at a picture. They got the old big copple kettles. Um, are they brewing all of their beers in the same place, or have they got like another area that they're brewing beer in a more modern brewery facility? Because this looks like it's got tiled walls. Oh, look, those are like taps on the wall. Oh no, they're not. Well, it's a cool looking brewery. I'm sorry they got the market on everything, but what are we down to? Whoa, 78. We can start filling the fermenter now. All right. I got to turn off the water. It's coming out at 58 degrees. It's too cold now. And we all right. So we got the fermenter filled. Can take this off. 'All right, folks. That's going to be the brew day today because I am going to aerate this. And as I said earlier, I leave this in for 20 minutes, and we're not going to sit here and aerate on a live stream. What I'll do though before we take off is I'll check the final gravity and see where we sit on that. Got that plugged in. Let's 70 degrees. Oh, it's losing power. I got to plug this in too. All right. 105. What is it? 105.6? And we're supposed to be at 105.9. Close enough. It's actually no, it's 105.7. Oh, that's not what I wanted. All right. And we got trying to see my volume here. Oh, there it is. Just under 3 gallons. We're at 2.75 gallons in the fermenter. There we go. Right. So I think we're good, chat. Whoever's here. I'll do a tasting video of this once it's done. I'll do some highlights leading up to that tasting video from this video, but you know, there's that. Numbers came out good. As I said, I got 2.75 gallons, and I'm supposed to have in my fermenter pure. I'm supposed to have 3 gallons. I'm at 2.75, and that's in the fermenter. So actually, my batch size is supposed to be 2.7. We'll see what goes in the keg, how much trub there is at the end. I don't need to do a fermenter top up. I'll write down the fermenter volume, which is 2.75. Let me double check that. Yeah. With that little bit I dumped in from the hose, we're at about 3. All right. So, as I said, we're supposed to be at 105.9. We're at 105.7. We're at 3 gallons, which is what we're supposed to have. And we will be back in 2 weeks. What's the temperature of that? Oh, I got to set my tilts too. And it's at 65 degrees. So I can add the yeast as soon as I'm done aerating. Oh, hey, Siri. Set a timer for 15 minutes because I've been
15.
shooting the shit. All right. Chat. Later. we'll see you at the tasting, whenever that is. Won't be long. I wasn't talking to you, Siri. See ya.